Good morning, everyone. My name is Major Mike Rehill. I'm the chair of the Hamilton Veterans Committee, and I'm also the regimental secretary of the Royal Hamilton Light Infantry. We are here today on the Hamilton Beach at Dieppe Park, 19th of August, 2025, to commemorate the 83rd anniversary of the Dieppe Raid. The Dieppe Raid, while a disaster for the Allies, provided crucial lessons that directly benefited the planning and execution of D-Day. The raid highlighted the need for improved communication, better air and naval support, and more effective techniques for assaulting fortified beaches. The experience at Dieppe led to significant changes in tactics and technology, ultimately contributing to the success of the Normandy landings. The Normandy landings in June 1944 eventually led to the liberation of Europe in June 1945. And this year, we commemorate the 80th anniversary of victory in Europe.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Gore Park Cenotaph. I'm Mike Fortune from Cable 14, and joining me today is Major Mike Rehill, Chair of the Veterans Committee on this special Remembrance Day 2025. We're going to be a little chilly today, Mike.
We are.
This has been, there's 7 of these events throughout the city today. You had an event on Sunday as well. Could you please let our audience here today know about the event that happened on Sunday and the parade?
Well, the second Sunday in November is traditional in the country and known as Remembrance Sunday. So it's always the second Sunday of November, and it's the day that the soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the city parade to the Cenotaph here, and we hold a ceremony very similar to today's ceremony.
As chair of the Veterans Committee, this is no small undertaking. Many volunteers. Talk to us about some of your responsibilities, sir.
Well, the Veterans Committee consists of representatives from all of the services and regiments in the city of Hamilton. We meet monthly, usually at the end of the month, and as well as the Remembrance Day Ceremonies, we also organize the Decoration Day Ceremony in June and the Dieppe ceremonies in August. As well as that, we're the advisory group for the Field of Honor. We have outreach programs for students. We have a Research a Grave program. We have a Make a Wreath program. And we try and inculcate in the youth of today the importance of remembering the sacrifice of Canadians that have gone before.
And as we talk about the sacrifices of Canadians before us, the meaning of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, which is up in Ottawa, the importance of that and your affiliation and how you have been involved with various events over the years there in Ottawa.
Well, the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier was something that originated in the United Kingdom. And most of the audience probably knows that the United States also has a Tomb of the Unknown Soldier that's guarded at Arlington Cemetery. In the year 2000, the Royal Canadian Legion and the Department of History and Heritage of the Canadian Armed Forces had a millennial project to have a Tomb of the Unknown Soldier at the National War Memorial in Ottawa. And The ceremony happened on May 28th, and the soldier, and people have to understand that how can that soldier be unknown? But during the First World War, there were massive bombs that were dropped on groups of people, and often it was very hard to tell who belonged to the bodies. So the unknown soldier from Canada was an unknown soldier who was killed in the Vimy Ridge area, and he was repatriated at the end of May. He was brought back to Canada, and he was laid in state in the Parliament buildings. And then there was a parade bringing him from the Parliament building to the National Cenotaph, National War Memorial. And there were 4 100-man honor guards and a huge mass military band that marched the soldier funeral cortege through the streets of Ottawa. And he was laid to rest in the presence of the Governor General, the Prime Minister, the Chief of the Defense Staff, and Cliff Chatterton was there, the head of War Amps. And he was laid to rest because they don't know what nationality or who he was. There was all sorts of tributes to him, including an Aboriginal ceremony as he was laid to rest. The Hamilton connection to that was that a team of 10 buglers from Hamilton, the Royal Hamilton Light Infantry, traveled to Ottawa and played the last post and the rouse over the tomb of the unknown soldier. We were the only reservists other than the piper that played the lament in that ceremony.
And about 10 years ago or so it was, you were playing the bugle, I understand.
No, that was at the tomb of the unknown soldier. I led the bugle team.
You led the bugle team.
In 2000. Yeah.
When you are there in front of the tomb of the unknown soldier, what's that feeling like for you? What goes through your mind, sir?
Well, it was very poignant, and it was very nerve-wracking to have all eyes upon you as you had to perform a very poignant piece of music over the tomb. So it was nerve-wracking.
As things start to fill down here in downtown Hamilton, we thank you all for joining us. There's also the 80th anniversary of liberation of Europe. If you could educate both me and our audience here that's here live down at the Gore Park Cenotaph in regards to that, please.
Well, the liberation of Europe started on D-Day, June 6, 1944, and it lasted. The battle to take Europe back from the Nazis took almost a year. During that time, almost 45,000 Canadians were killed, Canadian soldiers, sailors, and airmen. And the most stringent fighting happened in Holland, the liberation of Holland. And to this day, you will see that the citizens of the Netherlands honor the Canadian war dead who are buried there. And each child in the Netherlands has a war grave that they take care of and tend to. So it was a very sacrificial time for the Canadian population. Canada had an armed forces at that time of 1 million people, and to lose that many was very, very heartbreaking for a lot of Canadians, and it's probably why today that so many of us take part in remembrance ceremonies. I lost a great-grandfather in World War I, and everybody here has lost somebody. And that's why we get together to remember today.
We get together to remember today, and also we are wearing the poppy and the significance of the poppy, and it's important why everyone in our great nation should take the time, support the Veterans Committee, and put one on their lapel over their heart, just as you do over your medals. And when you pin that poppy on yourself, sir, what does that mean to you?
It's commemorating the sacrifice of all those Canadians that went before us, and the fact that their sacrifice has made it possible for us to live in this country today with the freedom we enjoy.
And as we look out, we see things gathering here to see the throng of people. It does show that Remembrance Day still is a strong, important day. Your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. Hamilton is a very strong garrison city. HMCS Star, the Royal Hamilton Light Infantry, the Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders, the 11th Field Battery, the Royal Canadian Corps Signals, Service Battalion. It's a very strong garrison city, and it has a very, very strong tradition of military service, and Hamiltonians should be proud of that military service.
Because here in Hamilton, on top of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, Hamilton has big connections to World War I, World War II, and beyond.
Absolutely.
As we continue on, you're going to be starting things off momentarily for us. For the people that are standing out here, as we hear and see the planes above us symbolizing today, what do those sounds to you mean, and potentially to some of the veterans that are out here today? Hearing those big planes up above, flying high, I can only imagine what thousands of those at a time would sound like.
Correct, and we're so beholding to the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum, who often arranges to have fly pass over our ceremonies, both Remembrance Day and Decoration Day, as well as Remembrance.
The younger generation, what should parents, what should grandparents be talking about to keep Remembrance Day top of mind, November the 11th, for generations to come?
Well, as I've said before, they should be educating their children about the sacrifice that Canadians have made. Get them to read history to them. See how many people have been sacrificed for our freedoms.
Very well said. Looking at the clock here, we have a few more minutes before your duties will be getting underway. And again, as we continue on, talk to us about the role that the Veterans Committee is going to be playing throughout the year as you're preparing for next year now.
Well, after this ceremony, we'll start preparing for the Decoration Day ceremony. Mm-hmm. We'll also do an after action on the ceremonies that we've run today and on Sunday, and make improvements to it. And one of the principles that we try and follow is to make all of our ceremonies inclusive. Today we've got Aboriginal drummers who will be singing an honor song during the wreath laying. We've got French immersion students from the local Catholic high school reciting in Flanders Fields in French. We've got the Dundas Band, of course, here helping us. And we always try and be inclusive and try and bring as much inclusivity into our ceremonies to get as many people involved as we can.
And I know when we spoke last week on the Hamilton Life sets down at the Cable 14 studios, you were mentioning to me about the order of the wreaths and how they are laid. Can you explain that to our audience here tonight?
Well, the wreaths that are being laid today are the first wreath laid, the Veterans Committee decided a long time ago that the first wreath would be laid by a silver cross, now known as a Memorial Cross Mother, and we have a lady today who lost her son in sacrifice of our country, and then we lay the federal wreath, and then we lay an Indigenous wreath, and then we proceed down with the provincial and the city wreath, and then the City of Hamilton Veterans Committee lays a wreath, and then we have anybody else who would like to lay a wreath can lay a wreath. It's interesting to note that the wreaths laid by the federal, provincial, and the Indigenous are all made by students. They're handmade wreaths by students.
Major, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for the work that you continue to do. And I'm going to be passing you off now to the main podium there so we can get our festivities underway here to remember. And thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike. Good morning, fellow Hamiltonians, Memorial Cross families, members of government, veterans, and Hamiltonians. Welcome to the annual City of Hamilton Remembrance Day service. My name is Major Mike Rehill. I'm the chair of the City of Hamilton's Veterans Committee and your Master of Ceremonies for this morning's service. We recognize that the City of Hamilton is situated upon the traditional territories of the Erie, Neutral, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and Mississaugas. This land is covered by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, which was an agreement between the Haudenosaunee and the Anishinaabeg to share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. This year, the committee commemorates the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Europe. During this part of the war, more than 45,000 Canadians were killed in action, a sacrifice that was part of the larger Allied victory on Victory in Europe Day, May 8, 1945. These men and women served in various campaigns, including the liberation of the Netherlands, where over 7,600 Canadians died during the 9-month campaign. The Canadian military, which had over 1 million personnel serve in the Second World War, also saw 55,000 wounded and thousands more as prisoners of war. In 2025, Hamilton's 2 infantry regiments lost their last surviving veterans of the Second World War. The Royal Hamilton Light Infantry lost Gerald Wagner at the age of 100, and the Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders lost Tony Mastromateo at the age of 104. We honor their service and memory. We will now begin with the singing of our national anthem, led by the Dundas Concert Band under the direction of Julian Lamb. I now call upon Captain Padre Yuri Hadleo for the opening reflection.
Friends, fathers, mothers, brothers, and sisters, today in the heart of Hamilton we stand in silence. Today we stand steeped in the silence of the dead, the stillness of bodies once filled with laughter and courage, now folded into the soil of distant lands. Today we stand steeped in the silence of the comrades who laid them down, hands trembling, voices caught in their throats, the noise of battle fading into the awful quiet that follows loss. Today, we stand steeped in the silence of those who returned, carrying in their eyes the memories they could never fully speak, waging a second war within themselves long after the first war had ended. Today, we stand steeped in the silence of the waiting ones, the spouses, children, and parents who bore their vigil in kitchens and living rooms, learning how to keep going when someone they loved was gone. Today, we stand steeped in the silence of a city and a country, millions of hearts beating together in this shared hush. And today, we stand steeped in the silence of the future, the great unknown stretching before us, asking what kind of people we will choose to be. And all at once, these layers of silence meet right here and right now in this honored place. And in a few moments, when the gentle melody of the last post fades, we will be fully plunged into that mystery of silence. When we bow our heads, our minds will turn to those we have lost, ancestors, loved ones, fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, and children. This act of silence becomes a meeting of worlds, where the living and the departed share the same breath of air, where memory becomes presence. In this shared silence, it is as though two realities fold into one another. Their world and ours, divided by time, yet bound in love. Though we are separated by the veil of years, we are united in the pulse of remembrance. They are here, beside us, standing unseen at our shoulders, their quiet presence warming the cold November air. It is a convergence of realities, not ghosts, not shadows, but kin of spirit, those who came before us, reaching across the silence to stand with us once more, not in words, but in the language of the heart. And then the rouse will sound. Those glorious notes will call us forward, not a trumpet of war, but of awakening, a call to rise, to continue the work entrusted to our care. These glorious notes summon us to courage, to conscience, to the everyday bravery that keeps peace alive. These glorious notes remind us that remembrance is not the end of a story. It is the beginning of our responsibility. And in the spirit of the glorious melodies of the rouse, we remember too those who serve today, those deployed abroad, those training here at home, who now bear the torch of those who can no longer carry it themselves. They, along with their families, shoulder the legacy of courage and sacrifice, keeping faith with those who fell before them. And we, as Canadians, are bound together in this same calling, to honor their example through the way we live, to uphold the peace they fought to preserve, and to carry their story forward with steadfast hearts. The courage we honor today did not end with death. It waits to be lived again through us. So, when the silence lifts and the bugle sounds, may we too rise, not to forget, but to continue their legacy. Thank you.
We'll now have Line Cazot and Yasmine Marusco, who are students at École Élémentaire Catholique Monseigneur de Laval, read the iconic poem In Flanders Fields in French. Got it here.
In Flanders field, the poppies blow between the crosses row on row that mark our place, and in the sky the lark still bravely singing fly scars heard amid the guns below.
Nous sommes morts il y a à peine quelques jours. Nous connaissons les joies de la vie, de l'amour, la fraîcheur de l'aurore, les lueurs du ponant. Maintenant, nos corps sans vie reposent en sol flamand. Nos mains inanimées vous tendent le flambeau. C'est à vous à présent de tenir bien haut, de contre l'ennemi prendre les querelles.
If you break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in this field.
The centerpiece of any Remembrance Day service is the act of remembrance. The act of remembrance signified by the bugle call, the last post, which is symbolic of the soldier taking his last post, the silence for us to reflect on his sacrifice, and the rouse, which signifies the rising of the spirit to heaven. The lament is played after the rouse so we can reflect on that sacrifice. We will now observe the act of remembrance. We'll start with the last post. In 1914, the English poet Lawrence Binyon wrote the poem For the Fallen. Today we recite a part of this poem as the final part of the act of remembrance. I would like to call upon Hamilton Veterans Committee member, Lieutenant Colonel Rod Padden, to read the Veterans Prayer.
They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them.
I now call upon those with wreaths to proceed to the Cenotaph. I would like to acknowledge the wreaths made by the students of Bonetto School, Queen Victoria School, and Hess Street schools. During the wreath laying, the Healthy Aboriginal Men's Drum Circle will perform an honor song for those who made the supreme sacrifice. We will begin with our Memorial Cross Mothers wreath. Please begin. We'll now have the Dundas Concert Band, under the direction of Julian Lamb, play the Royal Anthem, God Save the King. Captain Padre Hadlio will now close the service with a blessing.
Friends, let us depart this place with the weight and the warmth of remembrance upon us. May the courage of those who came before steady our steps, and their unfinished work find hands ready to continue it. Let us carry forward the light they once bore, not in grand gestures alone, but in the quiet choices of everyday life, in kindness, integrity, and the defense of what is right. May the legacy of their service live on in us and through us, shape a world worthy of their sacrifice.
Honored guests, thank you to our Memorial Cross families, representatives of government, and all the citizens who joined us for today's ceremony. If you didn't come to the ceremony, there'd be no reason to hold it, so thank you all for coming out and braving the cold. Through the observance of Remembrance Day, we express our gratitude, our sorrow, and our pride for all those who served, fought, suffered, and died for the freedoms we enjoy today. We will remember them. Thank you again. This concludes the ceremony.